Well, hello everyone, and here we are for Ball Cap Bible Study. We are in Louisville, Kentucky, or just a little outside of it. Actually, a neat little town called LaGrange. Today, we're back to Sermon on the Mount, but just a couple of announcements, real quick. First of all, revival time is coming. We've got the revival coming this coming Sunday, the 19th, through Wednesday, the 22nd. You can go to qsbc.org and see all the information about that. It'll be wonderful. Tell your friends and neighbors and family and all. Let's have a big turnout. This is that time to reach out into the community and get folks to come and hear some special music, some special speakers. It'll be really wonderful, and just at the very least pray that God blesses it and others are blessed as well. Also, we had a great turnout for James Langford. We had somewhere between 160 and 200 guys. They're well over 160, so that's our biggest men's prayer breakfast we've had so far, and it was a really special time. And of course, he's an exceptional speaker. You can see we're here at our cabin. This is a pretty neat place here. We've got that we're at. I like it a lot. Let's see, I had some, yeah. So we're living pretty large here in Kentucky. We're having a good time. Got to see Andy earlier tonight, and we'll get to see the Ark on Wednesday. This is Monday night. We made it. We left Sunday got out a little later than we wanted to, about 4 o'clock. So we're going to be back on Sermon on the Mount. But how about a huge praise? Last week we did Sermon on the Marijuana instead of Sermon on the Mount. And it was, I was surprised. I'll be honest with you. I really thought that it was going to pass recreational marijuana in Oklahoma, but guess what? God put His majesty on display, and He said, "Look what I can do." So I give all the praise and glory and credit and honor to God on that. And so He heard the prayers of the people. He motivated them to get out and vote. And so anyway, that's a whole nother discussion for another time. Similarly, though, today on the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 5, after the section on anger and reconciliation, there are a couple of sections, and it's interesting that they go together. It's not by accident, but it's on adultery and then divorce. And so I think we could all agree that we need less divorce and less adultery in our nation, in the church, in our communities. I'm a product of a broken home, and I know what divorce does, and I've also I know the adultery side of it too with my family. So don't want to go into too many details, but it's not good. It's never good. If you've ever seen the movie Jesus Revolution, I'm the Greg Laurie kid. So go see the movie, and then you'll understand what I mean there. But even beyond that, Jesus, he's redefining things, not or he's clarifying things. He's not changing definitions, but it's like you've heard it said, do not commit adultery. And yet Jesus says, even if you lust after someone in your own heart, he's mostly talking to men, but he says, you're guilty. It's about the attitude. It's about the desire. I mean, God knows your heart. And so he says, if your right eye offends you, pluck it out. If your hand, offends you, cut it off. But that's not a literal thing, or everybody be walking around with no hands and blind. I mean, you couldn't even feel your way around. So, but the point and the issue is, what is it you desire? What is it that you? Let me say this. Do you remember that first puppy love you had when you were just consumed with that person, that boy or that girl, and you were like, man, I hope they like what I'm wearing. I hope are they thinking about me? I'm thinking about them. I wonder what they're doing. What are they up to? The girls would always write on their notebooks, Mrs. So and so, and her first name and his last name, and they'd write over and over and draw little hearts and do all that kind of silly stuff. And that's what we need to be. We need to be ate up with the Lord. We need to be consumed with God. And in James, he talks about adultery. James is very Sermon on the Mount like, because obviously he's the brother of Jesus. But in James, he says, "You adulterous generation, do you not know that friendship with the Lord is enmity with God? Whoever wishes to make himself a friend of the world is an enemy of God." And so ultimately, things like adultery and divorce and stuff like that, those are all things that have to do with enmity with God. That you desire fleshly things more than you desire to please God. That's what Jesus is getting at, is what is it that we greatly desire? Is it to please the Lord, or is it to please ourselves? Is it to honor God and his design, or is it to get that instant gratification that we want so badly? So anyway, I leave you with that. This is a short one. I'm trying to make them shorter. We could go on and on and on. But ultimately, God knows our hearts and God knows our motivation. And, make sure that your hands and your eyes don't offend you, and then you'll be right with the Lord. All right. Love you guys. I'll see you later. And we'll keep these short, and I'll start posting them to you tomorrow, so you'll get them on Tuesday. But we made the trip out. Everybody's safe. We're in our cabin. We got to see Andy. Tomorrow we're going to the Air Force Museum up in Dayton, Ohio. And then Wednesday we're going to go see the Ark. And then Thursday we'll knock around Louisville with our son. He's going to spend the night with us the next 3 nights here at the cabin. And so we're going to have a good time. We're out in the country. It's quiet. It's secluded. It's peaceful. It's restful. So we'll see you when we get back. Love you. Bye.